Welcome back to Jacob's Backyard Builds. We're out here in the barn today. It's my dad's shop. Today we were working on the 86 Shadow. I never did finish making the videos. I got distracted trying to work on it and get it all just finished up. So I rebuilt the front forks. I think I posted a part of the video last time. If not, I'll post part of it and kind of tell you what I had to do with it. But front forks are rebuilt, had been running great, driving great, and then all of a sudden it started slipping, and third, once you get over like quarter throttle, and then fourth, when you got over 4 grand, it slipped. So today, we're changing the clutches out. I've got new fiber discs, the metal disc between them. Went and picked up original Honda filter for it, and some GN4 oil. So we're going to get this clutch changed out, put new oil in it, and then this thing should be ready to go. Yesterday, I put some new levers on it. Ordered those from, Brake Crafters, which is the same place where I got my stainless lines from. In this process, I've also got to measure my clutch line going down to my slave and up to my master cylinder. They said that they won't make the line until I get them accurate measurements on it, because they were saying they're seeing like 56 inches or something. And the guys I talked to on the Shadow forum said that it should be like 25-ish. So I'm going to get an accurate measurement on that, and got to check the fittings on the ends, get the right angles on it. And I'll send that info over to them, and they'll make me a new stainless clutch line as well. So we'll get moving on this. Right now I've got the oil draining, and then we'll get it jacked back up over there on the bike jack, and we'll start taking the side cover off, and we'll get this clutch out of here. Alright, so it took me a minute to figure this out. I had to take a socket and cut some teeth into it. It's supposed to be 6. I could only get 3 to match up. You're just gonna first attempt, but it did work with 3 on there. It's got this lock nut that goes right there and holds that clutch basket in there. So you got to have a special socket for that, and apparently it's very hard to get your hands on. The only ones that I have found come from Europe. They're like 15 euros, whatever that is in dollars. Obviously I don't have time to wait for something to ship all the way over here. So made that socket. Then you can take this clutch basket off. That nut is going to sit right in here. So I've already rebuilt it, put new clutches and metal discs in there. So the way I do it, which this is my first time, which it makes sense to me, this here is actually my bottom plate. So when I pulled this top cover off, which is just held on by this snap ring, then it's got a little metal plate in there that's like tensioned. It's beveled one direction, and make sure you put that on the right way. So you'll pull this off, and you've got all your clutch discs down here, and then metal plates in between them. So I just started at the top, took the top one off, set it down, put the plate on top of it, and then just keep going and stacking them back up over here, basically upside down, but then that gives you an idea of how they go back in there. They're directional. You can see how they're cut sideways. The grooves are going to go to your right. And it's also marked inside of this housing. When you pull this cover off, it's got a mark in there. It tells you and shows you a picture which way they're supposed to go. So this is my bottom one. Or no, this would have been, this is the bottom one, which the top and bottom are different than the rest of them. So these ones are cut sideways. But the new ones that you get, which I don't know if that's for all of them, that'd be this one here. 22201 MM5000. These are Honda parts, so it must be the correct one for it, but they've redesigned it. That's not really directional anymore. They're cut straight instead of at an angle. So I just placed them with the numbers up. It had numbers here on these teeth that stuck out. This one does not. So I placed them numbers up. Both sides of it are the same. I don't know if it makes a difference, but if you feel this, these metal plates, one edge feels kind of rounded, the other edge is kind of sharp. Same thing on the new ones. I put the sharp edge up because that's the way I took it out. That's the biggest thing when doing anything. These things are not difficult. Nothing's difficult. It's all just nuts and bolts that hold it together. You just take it apart and put it back together the same way you took it apart. Use methods like this that help you know how you took it apart. I can see right there was a plate in between each one. So if I were to stick these back in there, I just start at the top and stack them back up. It's easy. With bolts, you lay them out in position. I didn't do it here because all I had to do was take that one cover off of there. But if you got different size bolts, take your plate, set it down, water pump, whatever it is that you're changing on anything, put the bolts back in the position that they came out of, right back in the holes. Simple things like that to make it easier. So we're going to get this clutch basket back in there, get this button back up. I still got to clean the gasket material off of there. But yeah, there was no videos on this online. You've also got this plate here, which has to go in directional way. You can see it's beveled. So that goes on like that with a snap ring that pushes the center back into it. Instead of springs, like other bikes, these ones have these beveled washers. Alright, we got her back together. So under this cover, that center nut we talked about there earlier in the video, that one's going to get torqued down to 72 foot-pounds. Now what you're going to have to do is put the bike in gear and hold the brake. That way you can keep this from spinning. Or what I did, because I only got one, it's only me out here, I don't have a hand to hold the brake. I took that pry bar, and when you're spinning it forward, the wheel's going to go backwards. So I put that pry bar down here, which then this spoke came up, caught the pry bar, and held the wheel still for me, and then I was able to torque it down to 72 foot-pounds. These covers, these 6 cover bolts are going to go on at 108 inch-pounds or 9 foot-pounds. You can see I used some silicone there to help seal it up because I wasn't able to get every single bit of the gasket material off, and even then there are still some nicks on it. So I'm going to get all that cleaned up and off of there, and then just wait for it to dry for a little bit, and then I'll put oil in it and it'll be ready to go again. Still got to get the measurement of that clutch line, and then we're all done.